Hello, my friends. Good morning to you. This is a birthday reading for those people born on September the 7th. This is a four-card pull, a general energy card for the year, a challenge you might face this year, an action you can take to stay in balance, and a synopsis or an outcome card. We'll see what it talks about. So, what is the general energy card for this year for September 7th, people? It is the Castle. And the Castle talks, a lot about you've built a sense of a castle. You've built a sense of, a fortress around you. You've built something that might be keeping your family safe, or keeping you safe, or keeping you, in your luxury, in your comfort, in your, in your control. Everything inside your castle is in your control. Mostly, and that you have filled your castle with things that please you, or things that keep you luxuriating and in your own space and in your own head and in your own being. But however, those castle walls may be things that are keeping others out that you need to be really interacting with. And maybe you have closed yourself off from the world that you really need to be in contact with. There's no growth if there's no connection. If you keep yourself walled in, if you keep yourself looking at us versus them, me versus those out there, if you keep yourself above someone else, or energy of other people, if you keep yourself above them, do you ever interact, and do you ever grow, and do you ever grow beyond your castle walls? And it would be sad for most of us to have castle walls that kept us locked in, that didn't afford us the ability to open the doors and invite in people, and invite in music, and invite in people who want to eat, and people who might want to stay there, and other people who might want to comfort, and also to keep the doors closed and never to go outside, and never to feel a part of nature, feel a part of life, feel a part of the vibration of spirit, and look beyond our closed minds to become travelers of the soul, to become understanders of people's soul, to grow beyond our own small, limited concepts of being. And the castle is not a bad place to aim to. We all want comfort. We all want stability. We all want safety. We all want nurturance. We all want a sense of peace. And we can get that. We can go and aim toward building that beautiful castle and financing that beautiful castle, but it's a question mark about how open are the walls, how open are the doors, how open are the experiences that you will allow if you have a castle. And so, what is the challenge for you in particular this year? September 7th is the King of Wands. And I think the King of Wands is someone who's very charismatic, is very excited about their lives. They've accomplished something. You've accomplished something very inspirational. You're touched into something very sacred and honoring, and generally respectful of all beings, and you've risen above the mundane and incorporated a sense of the Hierophant, the spiritualness of life in the everyday. So maybe you're a great artist, maybe you're a great communicator, maybe you're a great inspirer in some way, maybe you're on a stage, maybe you're just someone that people come to for their sense of wisdom, and their sense of inspiration, and their sense of purpose, to understand themselves against you, and you're held as a great teacher. But the King of Wands is also Kings may suggest that it's time to stop something, and something is over and you're not feeling very satisfied by it anymore, and it's not holding as much promise as it once did, and might be a calling to really kind of step away from the role that you are, step away from the role that you've had, step away from the influence that you have created in this particular path, because it no longer feels quite like it's what's needed. But the challenge, I think, would be to step away for you. The challenge is to leave what you have built as your castle, as your understanding of yourself, as your quote place in the world and the thing that you were supposed to do and the passion that you had, which might be diminishing, but to leave it behind and start something new and start something fresh. That's fool material. And the fool is absolutely possibly what you need to do right now, is to be the fool and jump with trust into something new, and jump with trust into something outside of your castle. Open up your gates, let people in, let yourself out, share your wealth, share your knowledge, but allow yourself to step away from your castle now, whatever that means. Allow yourself to break away from what has been the passion that used to drive you, that doesn't feel like it's the right passion anymore. Maybe you have an idea of where you want to go next. Maybe you don't. Maybe you just need to step out into the world, step out into life, and feel yourself fresh and new and alive, like a young child once more. How can you be that young child once more? Here's the action to take. It's the rabbit. You have to love yourself. You have to be willing to place yourself out into the world and trust that you're not going to be eaten, you're not going to be harmed, you're not going to be hurt by having, a life that's full of beingness. Rabbits, fertility, making things happen, making children happen, making life happen. There's a statement about rabbits, going out into a field and saying, "Oh, please don't eat me, Mr. Eagle, and please don't eat me, Mr. Fox, and please don't." That rabbit calls fear to themselves by saying, "Oh, please don't eat me." So the statement about rabbit is, I think, more about don't call fears to yourself, because those can manifest. And the more you can get away from fearing the outside world, the more you can get away from fearing that you can't go outside of your hole in the ground or outside of your castle because you might be eaten, then that's the fear that needs to be quelled in you. And that's the old fear, the ancient fear, the human fear of what's out there and will I be hurt by it. And if what's out there, and if I start something new, will I be hurt by it? Will it not be the right thing? Well, you can only really understand that by going deep into yourself and hearing yourself on deep emotional levels, and that calls for you to go back to nature. This is the castle, a closed place, a king. You may be stuck. You may feel stuck. So what do? You go out into nature. You go out into the everyday world, into the everyday life, into the mundanity of life, to see what really speaks to you now, to see what real problems exist that you might be able to help yourself and others be inspired by. How to break through. Here's the last card, synopsis card. How to break through your own limited sight and trust that you can be alive and be well and be happy and be enthusiastic again about something. This is about, where do you want to plant your passion? King of Wands once knew what was your passion, what was the thing that was driving you, and you found that, or you took yourself there or toward that thing, and but it's no longer doing it. So you have to, basically close your eye, close your left eye, your meditation eye, go into your meditation so you can really see with clarity what your right eye needs to see, where it really wants to go, and how to heal some old wounds that might have stopped you before, or literally stopping you now, and calling for you to be in a better understanding and a better soul place for yourself. So break through your castle walls, go out into your nature of things, and trust that you're going to be fine and no one's going to eat you, while you look for that new passion, while you live that new inspiration, while you unblock old things that have come up now that might stop you from really widening your humanity. Widening your humanity. And I think that's ultimately what this card is. You can be locked in a castle and never see humanity. but you can't be outside with the rabbits and not see humanity, because then you can understand love and compassion. Then you can understand pain and grief. Then you can understand guilt and sorrow. Then you can understand joy and pleasure in the everyday and in the sacred and in the sharing of beingness with those around you and with the world around you. Ahom Takwiyasa, blessed be.